Okay, so we are here for the 2019 template training, and what we're doing today is just going over all the new features that are available to you in the new template. What website are you working on, Brandon? Okay, the Upward Bound. Okay, great, great, great. Okay, so I am going to I just shared my screen. So if you'd like to work along with me, if you because I have my screen shared now, if you click Escape, that should minimize the shared screen, and then you should be able to open up a new browser to work on your site. Okay. So I am going to just take you to a web page right now, and you do not have to worry about knowing what this address is or how to get to the site, because within OuCampus we have links to any page that we are have helps on. So, and I will, once we get into OuCampus, I will show you where that is. So we are at our helps page for the new template. So it's just our 2019 template. We call it 2019 because that was when the template first came out. And so what we're going to talk about are the new features for this template. So we'll talk about, first thing we'll talk about is images, because that is an important piece. We did some major updates on how we upload images and how we prepare those images to be uploaded. Then we will log in to OuCampus, and you can we'll start, I'll just show you around like in the properties. That's where you can add this hero image up here. You can change, of course, your page heading here. We also have a new subheading, which you have to have on every page, and you can add that in properties. You can also add any social media buttons or images there in properties, and we'll look at that a little bit more in depth. Then we will also look at your pictures folder and how that's set up, and then we'll actually go in and work on a page, and we'll look at our new snippets, our new components, and our new formatting styles. Okay, so first thing that we want to talk about is the image size and optimization. So if I click on image size and optimization, it takes me to this page, and we have two rows, two columns of information here. So steps to use pictures on the website and the auto-generated picture sizes. So again, even in the past, we always asked that you change the image, the DPI, the dots per inch or the resolution to 72 DPI, and you can easily do that using tiny PNG. And down here we also have a video on how to use that. You just click on tiny PNG and you just drag over a image and into the area, and then it will automatically change the DPI to 72. And then you can download that picture, and then it's ready for you to upload into your picture folder in OuCampus. So we have 3 different folders. Well, really, we have main folder, your picture folder. So in your picture folder, when you upload an image, it is going to generate up to 5 different images for you to use. We have preset the sizes for your images. And over here in this column here in the right hand side are the sizes. So you'll see here we have a hero image, and that's the one that was at the very top of the page. And that's 2000 by 1050. We also have a card image and that's 600 by 315. Social and quote image. So you can see the different sizes here, web content and a web thumbnail. Okay, those are the different size images. And what will happen when you upload that image? So say if I uploaded an image that was say Nick's Hall, then at the end of the file name, it would have Nick's Hall hero lead, or Nick's Hall card or second lead. So it will add those that text that's in green to the end of your file name and before the extension. That way you know what images are sitting there. So that's in your pictures folder. We also build a faculty staff profile folder under your pictures folder. It might just be called faculty staff if without the profile. And when you are building a faculty staff page, or if you have new pictures for your students or the faculty or staff from your website, then you open up that folder and you upload an image. And what it's going to do then is just upload this one image here, and that's for your directory, faculty directory images. So it's just going to upload that one image. Okay. The other folder that we build is under your pictures folder is your underscore custom, and that is the image sets are not selected there. There's none set. So when you upload an image, it's going to upload to whatever size you want. We do realize that sometimes you have a custom size image that you might want to use, and so that's why we have built that folder. I would encourage you to try and upload all of your images in the picture folder, but you might have a need for that custom image, and you can certainly use that. Once you have uploaded all of your images, those images are uploaded in staging. I don't know if you remember, Brandon, the difference between staging and production, but staging is working in OuCampus's server, on their server. Production is once it's the information that you've worked on, once that page has been published, then it goes to production. So it copies over to production. So right now when you upload your pictures, they're going to be in staging. So what we need to do then is actually publish those pictures so that they are in production, so that they are live. Okay. We also have a video here on image sets, so that will show you how those image sets are added. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, unless you have a question, is just log into OuCampus. So I'm going to just scroll down and log in by using the little copyright symbol that's to the left of East Tennessee State University. And I'm already logged in, so it should just take me right to the page. Okay. So I'm going to click on my pages so I get to my page list view. You can do that by hovering over content and clicking pages, or clicking on that pages in that gray bar. And what I'd like us to do, since we're on the theme of pictures, let's go ahead and open up a picture folder. And now you can see that I have a custom folder and a faculty staff profile folder. So if I wanted to upload a faculty staff profile, I would certainly open that folder and then upload my images there. If I wanted to do a custom, then I would open up that custom folder and upload my images there. Okay, but I'm going to upload a picture just so that you can see the process of what happens. So I open up my upload and I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to add a picture. I'll go ahead and grab that one. Okay, and so there I have my image, and I'm going to say start uploading. Now it has this blue bar at the bottom saying the upload is in progress, and it does take a little bit of time because it's uploading 5 images. Okay, so we'll wait till that turns green. Hopefully it won't take too long. There. So that's green saying all 5 files have been uploaded successfully. So what I need to do now is publish them. But what I'm going to do is, instead of scrolling and searching for those images that I just uploaded, I'm going to click on the text modified, and that's going to bring in the top 5 images, or how many I ever uploaded, and they're going to bring those in at the top. That way you don't have to go scrolling for them. If I select all 5, then I can go ahead and publish them right away, all at the same time. If I just wanted to publish one at a time, I could do that, by hovering over the text and hitting publish. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and publish all 5 at the same time so that they're available, and then I'm going to hit publish. And now it's saying that it's published. So now if I go into production, I'm going to see those files. Okay. So I'm going to go back one folder to my 2019 template help, and I'm going down to my training page. So if you wanted to go ahead and open up any page that you want to work in, we can revert back if you do not want to. If you want to just play around on the page, you don't have to worry about messing up anything that's live. So I'm going to open up my training page. Okay, and so there it's available for me to start working in. Excuse me, but I'm going to turn my light bulb on. So go ahead and turn that light bulb on. That's very important because if you do not have your light bulb turned on, the area of properties that we're going to be looking at will not be available to you. So you always have to have this light bulb turned on when you open up your properties. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on properties. And this should look somewhat familiar. It's somewhat the same as the old template. We have our the title. The title is what's going to be up here in the top in the tab that's in your browser window. And this is where you can add the description and your keywords. Okay, you should have some keywords on at least your main page. Below that is your custom settings, and this is your hero content. So if I click on my hero layout, I have some options here. I have a hero image, no hero, slider, and a video. So you can add an image gallery if you wanted to. You could add a video up there if you wanted to. If you do add a video, you have to make sure that the video is in Venmo for you to add it. It cannot be in YouTube because we need to make sure that the sound is not on and that it loops continually. So if you need help with that, you can just reach out to our department and we're happy to help with that. So I'm going to just go ahead and select a hero image. And so once I have selected a hero image, I do have a field here that says hero image. I also have one that says hero slider and the hero video. So of course, this is where you'd put the video URL. This is where you'd put your slider information. And this is where you're going to put your hero information. Okay, so what we want to do is go and search for that hero. So I'm going to select choose file. Now this is where it can get a little confusing because we have some folders right at the root that everyone that has access to OuCampus has access to these folders. So we have an underscore heroes image. So we have some different pictures that we have built that you can use for your hero, unless if you'd like to use one of your own, you certainly can do that. But we do have some available for use. Okay, so you could just go ahead and select a hero image, and then you could say choose file. If there was one that you wanted to use that's in your picture folder, what you'll need to do is click on the ETSU Web Linux. If you click on that, it'll take you to the root with all of the folders. And then you just have to remember what your path is to your site. So Brandon, for yours, the trio is still under academic affairs. So you'd have to type in academic affairs to get to it. Mine is under ITS, so I'm going to open up ITS. And under academic affairs, I think you can get right to trio. But I have to go to my web tech page. I have quite a ways to drill to be able to get to my folder. Okay, and then you just go to find your pictures folder. So there's my pictures folder. Okay, so then you're like going, okay, how do I find the hero image? And so because we have, with the image sets, we've added those names to the end of the file name. If you just do under filter by name, I'm going to just type in hero, and all of the hero images should pop up. Okay, so there's my hero image. Here's a hero image. Okay, so I can go ahead and say choose file. Okay, so I have a bunch of different hero images that I could use. Oh, that's not. Yeah. So if you notice this image here in the original file name was hero, which was probably not a good idea because now all of those show up even though they're not true hero images. So I'm going to go ahead and select my choir hero lead picture and say choose file, and then that will drop that into that hero image. Okay. Then we can scroll down, and now we have a page header. So this is my page header. Workshops are available, and I'm going to just add an exclamation point at the end of that, so you can see the change there. And then I have a subheader. So this needs to be filled in. And this is where you can add that social media button. Okay, or that social media image. And what that will do is, with the new template, we have social media shares on the side of our template that sort of scroll with you on the left-hand side. So if there's somebody on your page and they want to share the information that's on your page to their friends on their Facebook or on their social media, they can click share, and it will, then they'd have to just log into their social media or whatever, and that image that you put here will show up on their feed with a link to your website. Okay, so that's a good way to market your site. Okay. And then also you want some alternative text to your social media image. So you add that to that next field there. This theme, it should really be under the hero image, because what this is doing is looking at the text. So the text is going to be sitting on top of the hero image. So you need to think about, is the text dark or is it light? Generally, or I'm sorry, not the text, but the image. Generally, the image background is going to be dark. So I always select light text, and then I can always come back and change it if I don't like the look of that. Okay. This is also where you can turn on and off that lower content area. Okay. And then you can say save, and that save button is going to be in the right-hand corner at the bottom. And so there is my image, and I think that my text looks fine with this image. Okay. Any questions about the properties? Okay, great. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit this page. So I'm going to click on edit. And here's a green edit button. So you can go ahead and click on that. And there's the editor. Okay. Most everything on the top row is going to be familiar to you from in the past. What's different is going to be the properties, or I'm sorry, paragraphs and styles. So we're going to start out with paragraph, and I am going to just put a little space between some text here so I can set up my headings. And so if you wanted to do that, you can do that. And like I said, if this page is a live page, you can go ahead and play with it and always come up to the second button at the top, exit without saving. That way you're not saving that page, so there's nothing that you've done that will change the content of it. So I'm going to just highlight my first text, and I'm going to go up to my paragraph button, click on the drop down, and this is where my headings are. So I have heading 2 to heading 6. If you notice, heading 1 is in red and crossed out, and that is because we have a heading 1 here in the page heading. On a page, there can only be one heading 1. You can have multiple heading 2s and 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, but they have to be in order. You cannot drop from a heading 2 to a heading 5. Okay, headings are not for style. They are to for your content to be laid out in somewhat of an outline form. This way, headings are good for search engines. They're also good for people that have a sight impairment. If their computer is reading this page, it will pick up on headings. And so they can drop from one heading to the next without maybe having to listen to the information about that heading. So if they don't want to hear about gummies, they can drop down to lemon drops. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on drop down, or I'm sorry, on heading 1 or 2, excuse me, and then heading 3 and heading 4. Okay, so then if oat cakes was really going to be a new outline type of information, I can go back and click on heading 2. Okay. So those are your headings. If you want to change those, you can just, this clear formatting does not work. You have to go back up to where now it's saying heading 2 and just click on paragraph. And it will drop that back down to the correct font size. Okay, it'll clear out that formatting. Okay, so next we're going to look at some styles, and I'm going to just get my 1 or 2 sentences in maybe what we'd call the first paragraph. I'm going to go up to styles, and I'm going to go drop down here to the lead paragraph. So now you can see this paragraph. If I put it in a lead paragraph, it enlarges the font, makes it a little bit larger, and what it will do is actually draw the person's eye down the page is what you want to do. You don't want to take this font and do the whole page this size. You only want your first paragraph to be in that enlarged font or the lead font. And I'm going to clear that formatting, and then we also have lead with a drop cap. So I can always select that and it will give me that capital I. Now in the editor, it sort of cuts that off, but if I save my page, you don't have to save it, but I'll just show you what it looks like when I save my page. So there's the capital I, and that gives you a nice little drop cap. Okay, I'm going to go back into edit, and I'm going to make another list because we have lots of different styles for our lists. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and highlight that list, and I am going to use my tools up here to make it a bulleted list. I'm going to just get rid of that period there because that just drives me a little crazy. So there I have my just a plain bulleted list, but if I wanted to have a list of items but with no bullet, I could come up to my styles and just say list with no bullets or numbers. If I remove that, it removes the bullets. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove that formatting. I'm going to come up here then and choose, I want a list, but I want it striped. So there I can have a list of my items and stripes, it stripes every other item. Okay. If I didn't want that one, I can also, without clicking on the formatting, I can also just click on that little bar there. Okay. But I also have these bulleted lists that are info, bullet list warning, a bullet list error. And your info is your little eyes. So that's sort of a universal icon for information. A check is success, and then warning is the triangle. So you can use those in your bulleted lists if you'd like. So you can have the info bulleted list with it shading or striped. Okay. So that's your bulleted list. We also have, using the same type of information, these are up at the top. So we have success, that would be a check mark, a box with the info, a box with a warning, and a box with an error. So I'm going to do a box with the info, and what that does, it just highlights that text in a box, and it does change the color to green, and it does have a check mark. But again, in the editor, it's not looking the way it will look in preview, just like the I didn't. So if I go ahead and save this page, now you can see what that box actually does look like. And in that box, if you wanted to hyperlink some text to the cheesecake recipe, you could do that. Okay, so I'm going to go back in and edit by clicking on that green edit button. Okay. And then we have, under styles, we have also text, 2-column, 3-column, and 4-column. So I'm going to just do text 2-column, and that's what that would look like. So you could have your page set up as a magazine type and read it that way if you wanted. Okay. I'm going to highlight that all again. And if we go to the very bottom, we also have some text color, success, info, warning, and error. So if I wanted to make this a warning, I could do that. Okay. But again, you don't want to take all of your text and change the color of it. This would only be just a short bit of information that you wanted to maybe change the color of. Okay. Any questions about any of our styles? Great. Okay. I am going to show you how to do a picture, add a picture, because it's a little bit different with the new template and some of our styles. But I'm going to remove the styles to this to column by just going to clear formatting. And I'm going to put my cursor just to the left of that first paragraph. And I can go up to my insert and edit image so you can see where that is. It's just in between your styles and your video. Oh, you don't have a video. I'm not sure which is to the right, but you'll see that insert and edit image. We do have two tabs, excuse me, but you don't need that second tab with the new template. So but the first thing we need to do is go find an image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that folder, open that up, and I'm going to just scroll for an image here. And I'm going to use I'll just use this square one here. This is my content square image. It did cut the image off, so you do have to be careful when you're inserting images. If it's you'd probably want to put this in a custom just because of the nature. It's a map of the information. But for right now, I'm going to just say insert it, and I am going to have to write out a description. And then tooltip, you can just leave that blank. Your dimensions, you want to leave that blank. Then you want to go to class, and this is where, if you notice, the styles that were up here in your toolbar are now listed here. The only ones that you want to use for a picture are float left, float right, or you can clear float. So I'm going to have this picture float to the left of my text, and I don't need to fill out anything else, and then I can say okay. And there it automatically adds my image to the left, and it adds some padding around the text, and there's my then my text is sitting off to the right. Okay, so it's very easy to add images. I'm going to just add some more content here so we can work on some snippets and components. So in the old template, you had a bunch of snippets, and we did not have components. So we're going to start with snippets, and I'm going to just put my cursor somewhere on my page where I want to add a snippet. And I'm going to go ahead and, if you want to click on that black puzzle piece where it says Insert Snippet, and you do have a list of all the snippets that are available here. But these are the snippets that are also available for the 2014 responsive template, because we still have sites that are in the old template. So we still have to make those snippets available to them. So what you want to do when you open up your snippets is always open up all categories, and then you can select the 2019 snippets. There's also snippets for both templates. So I'm going to just click on that first. So you have tabs and you have an accordion. Those are for both templates. So you can use them in the 19T template on your site. You can also have a curriculum vitae if you're doing a faculty staff page. And there's a page alert and a page notification that are used on both. But I'm going to go ahead and look in the 2019 snippets, and we will look at a few of these. So we have a description list, and so that has like a ribbon going across and then underneath content. Okay. Oh, what I didn't say, and I'm going to click out of that so we can go up here to add-ons. This is where you can get to that 2019 template help. And that will talk about most of our snippets and our components. We are a little bit behind in updating our 19T template help, but most of what you need to know is going to be listed there. Okay. We also have a link going directly to that image sets page. So if you have a question about image sets, you can click on that. And then also one that goes directly to the 2019 snippets. So this is under add-ons. This is where you can get all your help information. So I'm going to go back up to my snippets and my categories. I'm going to click on 2019 and so we have some directories. We have a directory of locations. I've never really used this. We built this for a special website. And so we thought, well, maybe at some point our users might want to use that. So I think it would be good for departments that have clinics if they wanted to put their clinics locations there. I don't think the trio would really have any use for that. And underneath is that we have 3 different snippets for directory of people. So the first one is a directory of people. It's advanced with all the contact information. So this is where you want to make sure that you have their phone number, email address, and their office building if you're going to use that snippet. We have a directory of people that has a bio field, so you can put in their image, their name, and then in another area you can add any information that you want to. If you want to just put in a little bio, you can do that. You can hyperlink in there. It's just a field where you can add your content. And then we have a directory of people that's a thumbnail list. So this is just 4 images going across of the person, and then another cell that will it will add the name and department underneath. The name you can hyperlink. Okay, so that's your directory of people. We have an FAQ accordion if you want. We have also an FAQ search. We do have a full width breakout section in a snippet. That would have to be in that lower content area. Okay, and we can look at that. And then we have some grids. So we have a 2-column grid, a 3-column grid, and a 4-column grid. Our grids are used like tables. So you want to put a grid on your page to add your information into that grid. Our grids are responsive. So if I have a 3-column grid, if I'm viewing that page on my phone, the first grid will sit on top, the second grid below that, and then the third grid. So that's how that would look. And we'll look at these. We have a heading with an icon if you wanted to use that. And then we also have a timeline that you can use. So the first one I want to just show you is just a directory of people. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and say insert. And so you're seeing it looks like a table, but when I save the page, it's going to transform into the code of how this is going to sit on your page. So it's going to that design layout. The first field here is for your profile picture. If you have a picture in your faculty staff profile folder, you can go up to your insert and edit image and add that image there. If you do not have a picture, you can leave it blank and it will automatically fill with the ETSU shield. Okay. And then you just want to type in the name, and this is going to be the full name. Why we put the full name in because we thought we needed a place where people could link to say if that faculty member had a web page, they could link to that, or a website, they could link to that website. If they had like a bio page that had a lot of content in it that needed a whole page, you could link to that page from here. Okay, and then you can put in your title, and then the department that you work in, and the email address. And what's really nice about adding your email address and your phone number is that you do not have to link them. They will automatically be linked. And then the location. Oops. I did not mean, I'm going to just do my undo. There we go. Okay. So, and then if you wanted to add the next person, you can either tab or right click. Okay, so I'm going to just show you what this looks like by clicking save and exit. And so there you can see my name, my information here, and there's my the E in place of my picture. Now, because I added another row, this is going to show up. So if you do not want this row here, then you need to go back in and edit the page and delete that row. So I could just click on that row, go to row, and say delete row. And then that would delete the row. And so then just my content would be just sitting out there by itself. Okay. But you can add as many rows as you need. So if you've got 5 people or 10, whatever you need, you can add that. Okay. Okay, that's a good question. I would, for something like that, Brandon, what I would do is I would use the biofield, because locations is not, it's a directory of locations, not people. So I would use the bio field, because then what I can do is then you can just add your name, and then you can add whatever you want in this bio. Okay, so you could add your email address if you wanted. The only thing when you add your email address here is that you do have to hyperlink it. So, but if you just hit enter, it automatically hyperlinks it. And then you can either put in a little bit of your bio if you wanted. And then and then whatever school you wanted to. So let's go ahead and save that. Okay. So this is what that would look like. Now, if you notice, your name is going to automatically be, I think this is a heading 2. So you could add heading 3 to Science Hill. So a lot of times when you're working on this, you can go ahead and view it and then go back in and edit so that you can make it look the way you want it to look. Because what you're seeing in the editor is not really what you're going to see in preview. Okay. So I could do a heading 3 and we'll take a look at that. Okay. Or, I mean, I probably wouldn't put your email first. So we can just move that around. And just change that. Oops. Okay. Okay. And then I'd remove that spacing there. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little playing around to get used to what you want there. Okay. So those are our bios. Let's take a look at some other snippets here. I'm going to look at I'm going to just put in a 2-column grid, but we're going to use grids again. But I just want a 2-column grid, just one row. So I'm going to delete those other 2 rows. So what I just did was highlighted 2 rows and then went to row and then delete row, and it deleted both of those. So I could just add content into those 2 rows if I wanted to. But I can also say add a picture to the top. So if I wanted to go up to my picture folder, click on view and find my pictures. So what I would probably do is use a card image for my grid so that it gives me a nice width for that grid. And say okay. And I'm going to do another card view here. Go up to my image. And I'm going to just search for card so I can put in that one there. Okay. So there's my 2 cards. And I could hyperlink the images if I want. I can add content in here and hyperlink and whatever I needed there. So let's see what that looks like. So that gives you a nice layout of content. Okay, and then if I minimize this screen, let's see if I can get it smaller. You can see where now it's going to stack on top of each other. Okay. Okay, so if you do not have that lower content, so the second row content turned on, go ahead and go into properties and turn that on. It's way at the bottom. Just say lower content, just click yes and save. Because we're going to add breakouts, and you cannot add breakouts to an interior page that has navigation. So what you want to do is make sure that you go, oops, look on edit, go below that navigation to add your breakout. And so your second row is always going to fall below this navigation and below your content. So I'm going to go ahead and select second row content, and that opens that up. Okay, so we're going to look at doing this snippet. We will get to components here in just a second. So let's go ahead and click back into our snippets and back into our 2019 snippets. And this is where I'm going to do that full width breakout and say insert. Okay, so now I have some questions here. You want to make sure that you give each breakout a unique number. So if I click here, you can have up to 5 different breakouts. This is my first breakout, so I'm just going to do breakout -01. If I wanted a background color, I can choose blue, gold, or gray, or transparent. So I'm going to go ahead and go with gray. If I wanted to put an image here, I could add an image. And by doing that, I would just go up to my insert and edit image. Okay, but the image size that you want there would be the hero image. Okay, you don't want anything smaller. So let's just go ahead and add an image. Find that image, type hero. Say insert. Always have to add your description, make it sure it's a good description. That's not necessarily a good description. And then the finish for the top section, so that you can angle it to the left, to the right, right to left, or none. Okay, I'm going to select none. Okay, and then I'm going to add a heading. Okay, and then I can add my section content. So here I can add anything. I can drop in a grid. So if I want to do a horizontal layout, I could do that. So if I wanted to do a 3-column grid and add what we call cards into each one of those grids, I can do that. I can add an accordion. I can just about do anything that you see up here in this area. So I'm going to start with a grid. So I'm going to go up to my categories and choose my 2019 snippet. And I'm going to do a 3-column grid and say insert. And again, I only want 1 row. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those rows that I do not want. Okay, so now I have a snippet inside my breakout. What I want to do in column 1 is go ahead and add a card. So I'm going to go ahead and click on a component because a component is a card. So what I did not explain to you, what the difference between a snippet is and a component. They're basically the same thing. What they're doing is helping you with your layout, how it gives you a design and layout, if it's vertical or if it's wrapping text or whatever. The difference is that a snippet will add your information to your page. So here it looks like a table for the 3-column grid. And here is the breakout with directions on the left-hand side, and the right-hand area here is to add your information. So when you add a snippet, you insert it on the page, and then when you add your content and save the page, it transforms into the layout or style that it should be. A component, on the other hand, is opens up a box with questions and fields for you to fill in, and then you insert it on the page, and in the editor it will show you what it will look like when you save the page. Okay, so I'm going to add a card to column 1 by going up to my insert component, and that looks like that little atom there, and click on that. And here's my components. So I have buttons. I have buttons for call to action and pseudo buttons. Pseudo buttons are, it will say, you know, like apply now, and then you hover over it, and then it will wrap in a lighter color. We have cards, we have accordions. This is a FAQ accordion. That's just a single question. We do have a full breakout section that is similar to a snippet, but I'll show you the difference of those once we've added some cards. So we have the human, you don't see that. We have a quote with an author and a site. And then we have a testimonial picture with a speech bubble. And then the YouTube video. This is where you can embed a video on your page, but it does have to be a YouTube video. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use the cards. So I've selected that. I'm going to say insert. Without inserting though, it opens up another box. And then you can see the fields here. So I have my card image. I want to put the text so that when I hover over the card, it will show whatever text I put here. The card will have a title here. And then of course it's going to link to something. And then you have your card text. And then there's some more information below that. But let's go ahead and start filling out these fields. So I want my card image. So if I'm going to click on that little search button, so it will take me to the ETSU Web Linux and it will open up the card image. If I want to go to my website, to go to my picture folder to get the card image that you uploaded, then you have to click back into the ETSU Web Linux and then drill down to your folder. I'm not going to do that again. So I'm going to just select student folder and select one from here. But you can of course do whatever you would like to do. Let's use some big students instead of little ones. So I'm going to say insert, and here I can put in my my text. So I'm going to do apply now. And then my text here, and it doesn't have to be the same thing. And then I'm just going to put, well, I'll just add a link to that page. And then I can add my content here. Okay. So the difference between a snippet and a component is that in a snippet, inside most of the snippets columns or rows, you can add, you can use the toolbar. So in that grid, I could put in an accordion in that area if I wanted to. I could put tabs in that area if I wanted to. With a component, this is your editor. So it's very, very limited. I can put a picture in there. I can bold it. I can add bulleted lists. That's about it. There's not much I can do in that editor. So that's the one downfall with components. But the cards are really nice. So if I scroll down, now this is where I can choose what color card do I want. So there's my picture. Below it I can have transparent, I can have gold, blue, or white. So I have a gray background, so I'm going to go ahead and do a blue card. And then I'm going to scroll down, and here's this mountain shape option here, and that is here. So this is where I would want, if I wanted this mountain graphic, it would be up here in the colors. Okay, but I'm not going to select that. I'll take this mountain shape here, the one that just looks like it's cut out. And then there's one that's also just an arrow going down. So this card I put in a grid, but you can also put a card in with your content, and then you can have that card float. So you might have text on the left-hand side and have your card float to the left, to the right. So this is what it could look like. Okay. There's some really good directions here on how to use this if you are not using a grid. If you are using a grid, ignore this area. Make sure this is kept at none and you don't have any information in this cell here. Okay, and then you can say save, and there is my card. Okay. The one problem, I'm going to save this so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to preview it because if you choose an image, you're only going to see that image in preview. So there's the image. Okay, it's kind of neat how we'll do that. I don't think that I would choose an image that had text like this, but this is just an example. But so now you can see the card. So you can see where it says apply now and your text here. So if you have this card linked to a page, you can also link the text here if you wanted it to go someplace else. So if you wanted it to be somebody's email address, or if you wanted to hyperlink to a phone number, you can do that in the text. Okay. So let's go back into edit. I will tell you this, if you are working with cards, always make sure that when you add a card that you save it and then go back in and edit and add another card. If you do not do that, what will happen is that it will copy this card over here. So then you have two cards with the same picture, the same text, and that can get quite frustrating. So make sure that you go and save the page and then go back in. And hopefully it doesn't copy it. Sometimes it does. Okay, I need to go into my source code because what I did forget to do was add a couple of paragraph breaks so I could get my cursor below that breakout. Okay, so I'm going to just click a couple of times. And now I want to add a component breakout so you can see the difference here. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to my little atom looking thing, and I'm going to go to my full width breakout as a component. And then I'll say insert. And now again, we have a bunch of questions. So this is my full width area 1. Even though the other breakout is there, it does have a different name. So your components and snippets can still be both labeled number 1. It's not going to hurt. You have a background color where you have none or transparent, blue, ETSU blue, gold, dark green, heavy gray, or pale gray. So I'm going to go ahead and do ETSU gold. If I wanted to add an image, I could do that. I already have one image on this page, so I think that's enough. If you are adding an image, then you have to select yes or no. We do recommend that you select yes to colorize that image. Now we have some angles. So if you remember in the breakout with the snippet, you only had 3 options for the top of the breakout. So these, we have a lot of different options for both the top and the bottom. So you can say none, you can angle top, left, right, right, left. You can angle just the bottom. You can angle the top and the bottom. And you can also do mountain shapes at the top, bottom, or both. And I'm going to do both. And then there's also an alternative mountain shape. Okay, so you can just make your decision of which one you want. And then the next question is, how many grid layout do you want? So do you want just 1? Do you want 2 or 3? So I'm going to go ahead and do 2. And this is then where you can put your heading. And then you can add your content here. And again, since I did do 2 columns, so I can do my 2 editable regions here. Okay, but again, there's not, I can't add cards here because I'm just very, very limited at what I can do in this editor. Okay. We do have an area for a 3 column and for a 4 column, but I only selected 2. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and say save. Excuse me. And let's go ahead and save the page so you can see what that looks like. And we'll hit preview. So scroll down, and there's my breakout snippet. And here's my breakout for my with the component. Okay. So it just takes the color or oh, I lost my image there. It just expands it to the full width of the web page. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So let's go back in and edit. I think I covered everything. One thing I'm going to just show you, this is in both templates, so it's not like it's anything new, but here's where you can maximize your content area. And that might help as you're adding your content to have a little bit more space. There's also this little box here that shows, if you hover over it, it says show blocks, and that's to the left of insert snippets. So if I click on that, what it's going to do is show me, so there's an H2 block, an H3 block, H4, a paragraph, my unordered list, another paragraph. So it just gives you some information about what you're seeing here. That might be helpful, it might not. If it's not, you don't have to turn it on. Okay, and I do believe that is it, unless you have any questions. Great. Yeah, I hope you enjoy being able to use some of the new features that we have on your site. If you want, I can show you how to add another. I'm going to do that. I'm going to just show, since we have a little bit of time, how to add another card. So I'm going to go up to my component, add a card, add another image. Let's select a classroom this time. And that's not really a classroom, but we'll do that. And your text. And I think I did blue before with a mountain shape. And I'm going to say okay. And then it worked. And those aren't usually sitting side by side, but I think once we preview the page that it will look better. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add another card. Oh, I didn't show you buttons. I am going to show you a button. Even though I wouldn't put two cards and then buttons in a 3-column grid. I mean, for myself, I wouldn't do that, but this is just to show you what you can do. So I'm going to select a button, say insert, and then you can put your button text there. Open in a new window. I always say no, because most of our users are probably going to be on a phone, and it makes it easier just pushing that back button to get back to where they want it to be. And now I'm going to add a link and say save, and there's my button. If I save my page, and so we can preview it, I'm going to hit preview. Scroll down, and there's my button. And now if you notice, if I hover over it, it turns a different color. Okay. But I would, if I was doing 3 columns, I would have it with 3 cards. So I'd have another card sitting here. Okay, great. We don't have any more questions. We're finished for the day. And that's a good thing, since it looks like I have my internet is unstable. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, Brandon? We'll talk to you later. Bye.